know a lot of people are still living paycheck to paycheck, but there's a really huge advantage to living on last month's income. I didn't really understand it. I didn't really believe it, shall we say, until I did it myself. And holy camole, complete change. Now, I, at the beginning of the month, can set my money up. I budget out my entire month. And now all I'm doing is adjusting based on things that happen during the month. And I'm not having to panic about, oh, do I have enough money for this bill, and make sure that money is there, versus, oh, I know it's all covered, but I spent a little bit more in my groceries, so I'm going to take some money from another one. But I'm not worrying about, do I have enough money for the electricity bill? I'm not worrying that I don't have enough set aside here, or the competing, because I can look at my entire month at one time and see where that month sit. And even on top of that, it's not just that month, but I can see how my longer term goals within that month fit. Do I have enough for those longer term goals? They're already incorporated into my budget and I can move forward. Okay, so that's really the advantage of living on last month's income, because you can really have a better view of the bigger picture every month. Going beyond that gets a little bit more difficult, because now if you have adjustments in this month, you have to make adjustments in the future, and that can get a bit difficult to manage. I don't really care for it because that's a lot of maintenance, it feels like to me, to go that far forward. I'd rather build out, budgeting out that next month, and then building an emergency fund or focusing on some other things like that. There are different scenarios with your income that you might have coming in. So how do you work that in on living on last month's income? First scenario, and I'm using this one because this is what I'm in, is I have a salary, I am paid every 2 weeks, and I have a set amount coming in every 2 weeks. So I have built all of my budget on those 2 paychecks a month. And then in those 2 months where I get a third paycheck, what I do is I take that amount and apply it to different activities or debt pay down that we do. And then that way I'm living on those 2 paychecks every month. That's very standard. And that third paycheck becomes a way to supplement other goals. That would also apply if you are on a weekly salary. So most months you would get 4 checks. In some months you would get a 5th check. So same principle would apply in that in those ones, build your budget around 4 paychecks, and then that 5th paycheck can be used to supplement. Now this is as you get going along and you get this built up. What happens if you are on a variable income? So with a variable income, what I would do if you're learning to live on last month's income is figure out, again, what is that kind of baseline that you need to live on, or your lowest paycheck. So it'll depend on what you have in there, but you would find that amount out. So let's say it's $5,000 a month, that's what you need. When you have your paychecks come in, you would take $5,000 and put it into that income for next month. Anything above and beyond that, you would put it into that deferred income category. And then in those months where you're making less than $5,000, or if you're in sales and you don't have as great commission, that's when you would pull from that deferred income to supplement. Another great scenario for that is teachers who don't get paid over the summer, so they're paid 10 months of the year. What I would be doing, setting aside a little bit every month, and then you have this deferred income for the months of July and August, let's say, and you live on that rather than trying to pull money from everything else.